On-page SEO 101 for beginners. What's up, Annette? What's up, people of the internet? Look, here's the deal. I'm making this video about on-page SEO for my friend Annette, who reached out to me. For anybody who doesn't know, my name is James Jernigan. I'm with Baltimore City SEO, obviously here in Baltimore City. And in case you don't know, SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. So my friend Annette reached out to me. I've known Annette for since college, probably close to 10 years now. And since then, she's been off traveling the world and learning about yoga and doing all sorts of other cool stuff. At least that's what I see from her social media profiles. I don't want to speak for her. But anyways, now she's trying to share some of her gifts with the world, and it reached out to me for some tips on getting started with SEO. I don't know exactly what she's up to, but I know she's doing some copywriting and I think writing for some blogs or websites or something like that. But I don't know how much of this she wants shared with the world, so if she wants to be found, her information will be linked below, and you can find all about what she's up to. And anyways, Annette, I will get right to it and kind of give you a rundown about what I know about SEO, and I kind of want to make this video public so that it can help anybody else who might be also trying to gain some traction, whether it's for their yoga business, their copywriting business, anything else they might be doing to share their gift with the world and get found on the internet. So I put together this little checklist here of what I do to get started with on-page SEO. I'm hoping that helps you, and I kind of just want to walk you through it. Bear with me. I'll try and keep this as brief and concise as possible, but all of this stuff is important if you want to get found on the internet. So the very first thing you need to figure out is, what do you want to be found? Meaning, what kind of content? Is it a blog article? Is it a video? Is it an image? A combination of all that on a web page? Whatever it is, that's what you need to figure out first of all. And then the second thing you need to figure out is by whom do you want this content found? Meaning, you need to get specific about your audience. And then I have get more specific as the next step, because once you think you've got it figured out, that's going to be the crucial point of getting even more specific. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. When it comes to keywords, I'm sure you've heard of keywords for SEO. Well, now what's most important when it comes to SEO, particularly on-page SEO, is long-tail keywords. And that's exactly what it sounds like. Instead of just one or two words, it's more of a phrase, a half a sentence to a full sentence. So for a title, if you're titling an article, for example, and you want to do something like the 10 benefits of yoga, instead of that, you want to do something more specific, like the 10 ways yoga helps relieve mental stress and physical discomfort instantly. So I just went ahead and popped these, both of these terms into Google to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So here we have the 10 health benefits of yoga, and here is the first result from timesofindia.indiatimes.com. And as you can see, that is an exact match. The title here is an exact match with the search term, and it's even giving you this little pop-up here. So, but what else is important for you to notice here, right here on the homepage, before we even click on any results, you might need a Chrome extension to tell you this. I don't know if, I think I downloaded something that does this for me, but anyways, it tells me there's 295 million results for the term, the 10 benefits of yoga. Now, if we look at my notes here, and instead I said do something like the 10 ways yoga helped relieve mental stress and physical discomfort instantly, and obviously being in the yoga field, you're going to have way more specific keywords about the different types of yoga and the practices and all that. But you know, I'm just giving you an example based on what I have to go by. So here is that next phrase typed into Google, and if you look here, there's about 48 million results. So if you compare 48 million versus 295 million, that is cutting down your competition significantly just by getting more specific. So that is one of the first things you want to do. And another thing that's going to do for you, in addition to cutting down on your competition, it's going to make your even more finely target your audience, because if someone types that long search term in, they're looking for something really specific. And if you know that and that's the content you provide, they're much more likely to make a conversion and purchase something from you, or go to your affiliate offer or the next link in your funnel, whatever it is, to get them down the road to reaping the benefits of the service or product that you provide. That's going to help out tremendously. So that's why that's the first thing. And I had to reiterate with get more specific. That's one of the biggest challenges I had with getting started with this stuff, was really figuring out how deep you had to go into a niche to actually start gaining traction on Google. So you want to make your content very specific to your audience, to this long tail keyword that you have. You want to make sure your content fits it in every way, and that's kind of what I'm going to walk you through here. So the very first thing you need to know about on-page SEO is that user experience is most important about your website. And what I mean by that is the flow of it, and that people aren't getting lost and they know how to navigate your site, the menu functions properly, and just that it makes sense. If it's taking forever to load, if you have a bunch of 404 errors, that kind of stuff is going to kill your SEO pretty much no matter how good everything else is. So you want to make sure that's taken care of. Even if that's not something you handle directly, make sure your team knows that if they want their content found on Google, your website's got to be very user-friendly. So beyond that, the very first place you want to start, just starting from the very top of the page, is your URL. And you want to use your long tail keyword. I like to use an exact match. Some people say you're better off using a variation here. So this is where the little caveat's going to have to come in, like when people talk about medical advice or lawyer advice on YouTube. Seek help from a professional. I'm not licensed in SEO. This is just stuff I've learned over probably 20 years on the internet. But anyway, so use some form of long tail keyword in the URL. Obviously, you're going to have your website. You can't change that. But when you go to make the URL for the actual blog post, use your keyword in that. That's going to help out a lot. Moving on, you get to page title. And here where I say page title, I have settings. And you want to use a variation. You don't want to use the exact same long tail keyword using your URL. You want to use a long tail keyword variation of that. You want it to mean the exact same thing, but be worded differently. And so when I say page title, I'll just go ahead and show you here inside my website builder. And this is going to be, it doesn't really matter what website builder you use, at least as far as I know. They all have settings similar to this, where you can set the page title down here. You can see I have Baltimore City SEO, Maryland's Internet Marketing Expert, and that's another thing, authority words like expert, top, recommended, best, help out with SEO a lot, because that tells Google that you're to be trusted. So anyways, that is that, and keep this moving here. So page meta description, whether you're controlling this, I know you said you're doing the on page, so this is kind of like behind the scenes on page. I don't know if you're doing this or your website person is doing this, Annette, but for all the other people who might watch this video in the future, the next thing you want to focus on is your meta description, and that is going to be right here on mine, and that's literally just, in case you don't know what that means, that is just the little preview that pops up here on Google. So this is going to be the title you set, how yoga can help reduce stress, very well mined. And just like I had in the second half, Maryland's Internet Marketing Expert. So there you go, that's your title, that's your meta description. You want to make sure this is optimized with not only, you want to make sure that's optimized with not only your long tail keywords, but ideally a call to action too, so that when that result pops up on Google like that, and people read this, it's something in there tells them, hey, come to my website. So that's the next step, and let's keep rolling. Like I said, don't forget your authority words in there, best, top. Don't go overboard with it, but you get what I'm saying. This damn mosquito in here. Next is keyword settings, and this is something you just want to copy and paste from your competitors. And Annette, even if you are not handling the meta descriptions and kind of behind the scenes stuff of the page, if you are, that's cool. This will help you. If not, just pass this along to your team and anybody else who's watching this. This is how you want to take care of your keywords. I like to use, there's plenty of tools, but I like to use Neil Patel's tool. And so what is the URL of your website? And in this case, you're going to want to use your competitor's website. So we will just come to this top ranking article and say we wanted to take their top spot. So we will just copy their URL, come over here to Ubersuggest, and here is a keyword tool, and you just paste it in there, and boom, look at that, gives you all the data of the site. So wow, this site is ranking for 13 million keywords organically. That is outstanding. Excuse me. They have organic monthly traffic of 42 million people with a domain score of 91 and 28 million backlinks. So that's the summary of the data. But what's cool and what you can do with keywords is if you scroll down here, you can see the SEO keywords that they are ranking for and how much traffic they're getting for each of these keywords. So the Times of India is generating 2.2 million clicks for them. So that's a lot. Or sorry, 680,000 clicks with out of 2.2 million searches. So quite a bit. But anyways, you can click View All Keywords, and it'll show you. I think they're going to want you to pay beyond a certain amount yet, but it's a good place to start. That you get a bunch of them for free, and you could just copy that to the clipboard and then open up your notepad or whatever, and boom, there you have all the keywords from your competitor's website. You can just go through and delete the ones that are not relevant to what you're doing, and expand on the ones that are, and have an even better keyword profile. So anyways, you're going to copy those keywords, and once you get the ones you want in order, you will come over to your settings and just simply paste them into meta keywords. And one thing to note about that is you want to rearrange the words as many ways as possible. Like if you notice here on my page, I have Baltimore City SEO immediately followed by SEO Baltimore City. And you want to switch the words around every different kind of way that someone could possibly type it in, because that's going to increase your chances of being found. So all super simple stuff so far. It's just a lot to put together, and it takes a lot of time to find this information all in one place. At least it did for me. So that's why I'm trying to pass it on to you, both my friend Annette and the whole world. Anybody who wants this information, I want them to find it. And if you appreciate me sharing this information with you, I'd really love it if you could just absolutely demolish that thumbs up button and tell the algorithm, hey, show this dude's post to more people. And yeah, that'd be cool if you could do that. So anyways, moving on. Next, we get to H1 title. This is where we're really in the on page of it. So you're sitting down to write your article. The page is set up. This is your actual article now. You want to make sure that you have only one H1 title on the page. And if you don't know what an H1 title is, I will show you right now. And in website builders, and again, this is probably going to be the same no matter what kind of builder you use. If I come over here to elements in mine, and come down to text, you'll see under text there's different titles: H1, H2, H3, H4, H5. It's very important that you only have one H1. So even if you use a pre-made template, you want to go ahead and delete the title that comes in the template, drag your H1 in, and then edit it to be what you want it to be so that it's clear. And if you're using WordPress or something like that, there'll be a little menu over here on the side. It'll just be the same thing. It'll have H1, H2. It's actually a little bit easier, that aspect of it, using WordPress. But I don't know what website builder you're using. It doesn't really matter. They all are pretty much the same when it comes to SEO. If your website builder doesn't allow you to edit, you know, your meta description and your titles and the H1 tags, you need a new one if you want to do anything with SEO, because this stuff is absolutely crucial for getting found on Google. So anyways, if you don't have access in your website builder, like by clicking so easily, what you can do, like if you're writing a blog on like a blogging type site, is just put this exact these characters in there like that, H1 in the two, whatever you call those brackets like that, and then do the same with a slash at the end, and that ends it, and that's going to tell Google or whatever site you're blogging on that is your H1 title. So make sure you only have one. It should be exact long tail keyword in the H1, like I showed you on that top ranking result. You want to make sure that H1 is exact, and then you're going to have a keyword rich summary of what your page or article is about. You know, don't overdo it with the keywords, because Google will pick up on that and can give you a penalty. You know, it should be readable, but very relevant to what you're talking about. So moving on, then you get to H2, same as H1, you only want to have one H2. Beyond that, it's debatable from what I understand as to whether Google pays any attention to 3, 4, 5, and 6. I like to just go ahead and use them in order because they're in my website builder and assume they put them there for a reason. I don't know, but anyways, continue going. And like I said, you want to use more keyword variations, and that's very important. You want to change it up. You don't want to just use the same keyword over and over, because like I said, and number one, Google can give you a penalty, and number two, it's really narrowing down your options as far as getting found, because you know, if you look at how much different stuff just this one Times of India site, and now that sounds like a news site, so I'm sure you know they cover a lot of topics, but you saw how many keywords they're ranking for, millions, and most websites don't even have 1 million words on them, and they're ranking for millions of words. So that's the kind of competition you might be up against, and that's why it's important, like I said at the beginning, to get even more specific. No matter how specific you think you are, there's 7 billion with a B people using the internet last I checked, so get even more specific. So after you've done the H2 and H3 and you've got your article set up, now it comes down to the last final details of your on-page SEO as far as I'm concerned. And one tip for you is to have your address and phone number on every page if you're a business, because what that does is it tells not only human visitors but also the Google crawl bots that your business is legitimate and this page is relevant and it's related to this page over here that has the same phone number on it. And the more of your pages that have your phone number and address, the more that tells Google that you are one cohesive unit and deserving of showing up in search results. So if you can, put your address and phone number on every page. I get like some blogs and stuff, you know, you don't have an address to put. It is what it is, but it helps. Obviously, you want to add relevant images, and when you do that, it's important to add alt tags. And just in case you don't know what I'm talking about, like I said, I don't know what your skill level is with SEO and building websites, but I'm trying to make this as like newbie friendly as possible, so that when I put this on my YouTube channel, hopefully it will help people for years to come, absolutely free. And if you appreciate this free help, like I said, just smashing the like button would do it. That's all I need. And if you're really serious, Annette or anybody watching this, about getting found on Google, obviously you could check out my website, baltimorecityseo.com, and we can go down that road. But anyways, losing my train of thought here. What was I saying? Oh, alt tags with the images. If you click on an image here in my website builder, it's under this configure setting, and image alt attribute value, and this one actually somehow my alt tag got deleted, but I would make this something like Baltimore City SEO eyeball logo, or maybe even more specific, eyeball with crown logo. And then, you know, you can set that to link to something specific if you want. I don't need it to, so I will not. But you get the idea with that. So relevant video as well. A note about videos on your page is the great thing about videos on your page is it boosts engagement, and the longer people spend on your page, the more that tells Google, hey, this is relevant, we should rank it higher in search results. However, videos also decrease your page load speed, and tons of professional SEOs who've been in the business for years say that slowing down your page is one of the worst things you could do for SEO, and that it's going to hurt you more than anything else. Now, that's where I'm a little conspiracy minded, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, I agree overall that if your website is slow, Google is going to rank it poorly. That is a fact. I don't disagree with that. However, I think the benefit of the increased engagement, if you are getting traffic to your page already, if people are coming to your website, putting a video on it is going to keep them there longer. And that, to me, from my experience, is a more powerful signal to Google that your website is good than it loading super duper fast. These days, most people, at least people who are looking to spend money on the internet, have relatively newer devices, so their devices don't have a problem loading videos. So I think that's kind of old news, kind of like an old wives' tale. It used to be true, it's not anymore. Maybe it is still true, maybe I'm wrong on that. Anybody watching that can correct me, but I like to put videos for the engagement. It seems to help keep people on my site. So that about wraps up on-page SEO. So I just want to give you a couple extra bonus tips that I hope you or anybody watching this can just take and run with, and that is clone your page. If you're doing like a blog post or really anything you're trying to rank, you can clone that web page and just completely reword both the article and like the URL and the title to a long tail keyword that is different but means the exact same thing. So like an example of that would be the 10, we started with the 10 ways yoga helped me relieve mental stress and physical discomfort instantly. You might do the 10 key things that yoga changed about my mental health and physical well-being or something, like that, and then just go through and re-optimize this new cloned page. You don't have to rewrite the article, but just go through and make sure you're changing a few words in every sentence or every few sentences, because Google can pick up on identical content. So if you just click clone and change the title, it's not going to work. But if you go through and take, if it took you a couple hours or days or whatever to write the article, if you go through and you take an extra 20 minutes to rewrite it again and again and again 5 or 6 times, and then you clone that page, now suddenly you have not only the chance of all the keywords on that one page ranking, but now you have 6 times that amount of keywords that you're able to rank essentially the same content for and drive traffic to the same funnel or sales page or affiliate offer or yoga class or whatever you're trying to drive traffic to. So anyways, that's my first bonus tip. The second one is use these same optimization strategies in your social media profiles and even your posts on social media. Every time you go to make a post, think about it in terms of what would someone be looking for, what would someone type to find it? If they were looking for this information, how would they word it? And that's how you want to word the titles of your posts, and you want to optimize the actual content of your post with, like I said, alternating the keywords. Instead of using the same one over and over, you want to use extremely specific synonyms. And obviously incorporate hashtags. Duh, everyone knows about hashtags, but when you start getting all this, piecing all these things together and getting your long tail keywords, you can start getting even more specific hashtags and using them in all your relevant content. And then you can start using your own hashtags. And the power of this is something a lot of SEOs don't talk about, so I really hope you guys appreciate this. But the power of once you start getting even a little bit of traffic, if you can get people to start reusing a hashtag that you invent, even if it's only like 20 or 30 people posting with that hashtag, that is going to be enough to tell Google that, hey, this is a new thing, people are looking for it, and you'll probably notice it starts popping up in search results. So super powerful tip. And the last thing I want to leave you with is backlinks. Backlinks is off-page SEO, and it's not something you need to really think about until you've got all the rest of your ducks in a row as far as this on-page stuff. But once you think you can't make your on-page any better, go ahead and start building backlinks, and all that means is simply linking to your content from other places on the internet. The more the merrier. You want to do it as much as possible, but the more specific you get with where you're linking from, the more relevant those links are. The higher quality traffic you're going to get coming to those links to your offers, number one. But number two, the more relevant Google is going to see your property, because they're going to be like, hey, this yoga page is associated with these other 3 high-profile yoga websites. It must be a good one. You get the idea. So anyways, I hope this helped. I hope this helped you, Annette, get more traffic to your blogs or your website, whatever it is you're working on. I know you've been too busy to even get me more information, which is why I just kind of took the initiative to go ahead and make this video so that you could just take the ball and run with it. And I hope this gives you as much value as possible. And if you have any questions whatsoever, you know you can hit me up anytime. And that goes for all of the rest of you friends on the internet and strangers, even if you don't know me. If you have questions about SEO, like I said, my name is James Jernigan. I'm with Baltimore City SEO. You can find us by, guess what, searching Baltimore City SEO in Google. Just look for the bright purple eyeball, and that's me. You'll be in contact with me directly. And I can't wait to help anyone get found on Google. Have a great day.